Welcome to BizTech's Ecosystem Conversation Show. Now, where we feature topics and we also feature movers and shakers in the tech ecosystem. Now, today we talk to Shanli, who's the managing partner from ScaleUp Malaysia, to talk to us about ScaleUp Malaysia and also their latest cohort of startups. Shanli, welcome to the show.
Hi, Brian. Thank you for having me.
Now, Shanli, walk us through what ScaleUp Malaysia does.
ScaleUp Malaysia is basically an accelerator. We are based in Malaysia and we help companies to really scale and grow their businesses. So we're looking for companies which are not so much in the ideation and startup product market fit stage, but we look for companies which are already revenue generating and really just need help to scale and grow their businesses.
Now, from a stakeholders and partner perspective, who are your key partners and what are your roles?
So at the moment in ScaleUp Malaysia, we've got 6 partners. There's Dr. Siva, Renuka, Aaron Sama, Andre Sakera, Zelia Tong, and myself. All 6 of us, I guess, came together because we've all been involved in the startup ecosystem one way or another. Doc Siva and Renuka are very much involved in coaching and mentorship of startups through Proficio, their consulting company, which coaches startups within the Cradle programs. Aaron Sama, Andre, and myself are all entrepreneurs. We've all founded companies. Aaron is most well known for founding Touristly, which was then rebranded VD and sold off to AirAsia. Andre is our technologist. So he founded a mobile network engineering company. I don't really know what exactly they do, but he sold that company off to a listed company in France. And I myself, while I worked a lot in accounting and finance, I also founded a company called Baby Dash, which is an e-commerce platform focusing on mom and baby products. And then Zelia Tong, she's got a lot of experience with helping startups with funding through her experience with MDB as well as with Cradle. So all 6 of us come together and bring very different roles and skill sets to startups and to companies within our program.
And you also have Quest Ventures as your strategic partner. Tell us more, a little bit about them.
So each cohort that we run, we have different partners. For cohort 2, which was the cohort which we just selected 11 companies for, our partner for that program is actually Quest Ventures, which is a VC based out of Singapore. So we work a lot with Quest. Quest also provides a lot of their expertise in funding companies across the region. Quest will bring to the table helping our companies with regional expansion, with helping them with networking and putting them in touch with companies within their portfolio as well.
And I'll come back to you on a deeper dive into your cohort of companies. Now, what are the key things that you look for in a startup that ticks the boxes to join your accelerator?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we look for companies which are not in the early stages of their business. So we're looking for companies which are already revenue generating. And I think what we find the most interesting is companies which have businesses which you can clearly see are just poised for growth. They're at that stage where, everything is working, they've got product market fit, but it just needs a little bit of help to either tweak the business model or spend a certain amount on certain areas to really scale and grow their businesses. So those are the kind of companies we're looking for. And of course, companies which stand out are companies with founders who are very, very passionate and very driven and very hungry. Because I think no matter how good your business model is, you really need strong, passionate founders to really take it to the next level.
And what does your accelerator program encompass? Give us an idea of the curriculum that you put them through and what sort of hurdles do you have to jump through at different times?
Right. So our program basically starts with a selection of 20 companies. And these 20 companies, we put through a very intensive 3-month course. And this course goes through things. We have workshops, we have training programs where we teach them about product development, we teach them about sales, we talk about finance. And then we also have a lot of one-on-one sessions with these companies where there are mentors or advisors who will help these companies in specific areas to talk through their businesses and where they need help and how they should change perhaps their strategy. So this is a 3-month, very intensive session that we put the companies through. And after that, we select out of the 20 companies, typically 10 to 12 companies, depending on which cohort it is. These companies will then receive an investment from ScaleUp Malaysia in exchange for a minority stake in the business.
And what sort of funding do you give them?
We give between 200 and 250,000 ringgit.
Okay.
But it's dependent cohort by cohort. So
Cohort by cohort, and I'm sure also the valuation would depend on the different stages the business is at.
At the moment, the program is run on a standard valuation per cohort. So every company gets the same valuation because this isn't really a valuation of a company. It is an accelerator program.
Ah, I see. Okay.
So,
And
if
so
you
what
look
sort
at,
of
say,
percentage
Y
do you take?
Combinator, they normally have a typical amount that they invest in a company and a stake that they get in exchange for it.
Okay, so
So
in your case, how much do you take for your 200?
it's a minority stake, so less than 10%.
Okay. And how are you different from other, you mentioned Y Combinator, so how are you different from other accelerators and incubators? What makes you special, Shan?
Other accelerators typically focus on very early stage companies. So like companies will trying to get their product market fit, trying to get their ideation, trying to figure out go-to-market strategy, whereas we are looking more at growth strategy rather than go-to-market strategy. So that is the first area in which we are very different from other accelerators. And the other key difference that we have compared to other accelerators is we bring to the table a sort of external management team. So I mentioned earlier, the 6 partners of ScaleUp Malaysia come from very different backgrounds. Mm-hmm. So we help the companies sort of as an external management team. So if you think about it, Doc and Renu, because of their experience coaching hundreds of startups, they come in from a strategy perspective. So they kind of act like CSOs for our companies, Chief Strategy Officers. Aaron comes in very much from a sales, marketing, PR perspective. So he's our resident CMO. And Andre, because of his technology background, comes in as our resident CTO. Zelia as Chief Investment Officer, because obviously, again, she's helped a lot of companies with funding and raising funds over the years. And my background, because I've got, a chartered accountancy and spent over 17 years in finance and accounting, I come in with more of a CFO kind of role. So all 6 of us come in and are able to advise companies in a very deep level on their businesses, on their strategies, and how to take their businesses forward.
Now, let's talk about your cohort 1. What have been the results from that cohort? Could you just give us some broad numbers in terms of the number of companies that you took and where they're at in their journey?
Sure. So cohort 1, we selected 10 companies for investment, and these companies, the selection happened actually before the pandemic. So I have to say some of the companies, unfortunately, because they're in the travel space, wouldn't have done as well as we thought they would have. But companies which are focused very much on the online space, logistics, they're doing very well. So our companies, I'm also very proud to say that 5 out of our 10 companies have already received follow-on funding after our accelerator program. And majority of them have also done incremental in terms of their revenue today.
So when you talk about the impact of ScaleUp on cohort 1, could you give us some direct impact numbers in terms of how it's impacted the business? So say the five companies that were successful.
Yeah. So the 5 companies which had, by success, I'm saying they just managed to raise follow-on funding. So some of them, we have helped them with their pitch decks when they went to pitch to the potential investors. So we've helped them with positioning their pitch deck, how they should be explaining the businesses. We've also got companies within cohort 1 that completely pivoted their business models. So we have a company that joined us in cohort 1 that started off as a CRM software. And when we did a deep dive into the business, we realized that, hey, this business actually has a lot of potential as an insurtech company that really helps insurance companies rather than just being a general CRM software. So we helped this company to pivot their business, focus on one particular industry. And now this company is doing very well and securing a lot of deals from insurance companies. So that's an example of how ScaleUp Malaysia can make a difference to companies that join our program. It can be even as big a difference as pivoting the business.
Now, Shanli, tell us about your latest cohort 2 with 11 companies.
Yes. Well, very excited because we just announced the 11 companies. It was a very, very tough choice because there were very good companies that joined us. This time round, again, very much focused on companies that can really scale and grow their businesses. So I don't think I need to list out the 11 companies to you, but some of them are in the very interesting space. I want to point out one of them is in the e-waste space, e-waste recycling space. And the reason why we like this company is because if you think about it, and the numbers that we hear from the founder is like in the millions of tons of e-waste that's produced in the world, but only 17% of this is being recycled. Okay. So if you think about it, that's opportunity for growth.
Yes.
That's examples of the kind of companies we look for, right? Only 17% is being recycled. So there's another, 83% that is looking for potential growth. Then we have companies we have another company which is focused in the logistics space. And the reason why we like that company is because if you think about it, there's so many logistics players today and they're all doing
that's a very
right?
hot space. There's a lot of investment going into that. Exactly. But it's also hyper competition in that space.
Yes. But let me tell you why we selected this company, even though it's in the logistics space and it's very crowded space. Because this company focuses not just on trucks and logistics in general, but on big trucks. And if you look at the total amount of logistics, total number of tons of things that get delivered across the country today, there's 337 million tons of deliveries that go across Malaysia. 92% of that is not last mile and courier service. So 92% of those deliveries are big items. So that's why we like this company, because this company focuses on moving not your parcels, not your e-commerce deliveries, not your Lazada stuff, not your food deliveries, but they focus on delivering precast concrete, steel, metal bars for construction companies. So that's why to us, there is again, this huge potential for growth, right? Because they provide an on-demand logistics platform for this industry, which is a huge part of the logistics business. And at the moment, not that crowded.
And is that a globally scalable business?
Yeah, why not? Logistics happens globally, construction happens globally, the delivery of these things have to happen globally, right? So providing a good on-demand logistics platform that can address this industry is a lot of potential for growth.
Now, Shanli, could you share a few more companies? So obviously this is very, very interesting in terms of some of the selection that you've gone through. Could you share some more interesting companies, perhaps?
We've got another company that's in the F&B industry. Again, the reason most people would think F&B, restaurants, oh my God, pandemic, how is this company going to survive? But we like this company because they don't focus just on opening restaurants or running a food delivery business, but they focus on supplying the restaurants and supplying the coffee chains and supplying the brands out there which need food produced by a very efficient central kitchen, right? So the reason why this company is very exciting is because the founder is a lady. Thank you. Happy Women's Day. So the founder is a woman and she's very driven and she has set up a technology behind the entire business, which manages efficiency, quality, as well as profitability of her products. So because she's backed by this system, it is highly scalable, even though it's in an F&B industry, it's highly scalable and it can grow across boundaries, etc.
That's very interesting. Now, so those are some of the key highlights of your Cohort 2, these 11 companies. But I noticed on your website that you are now you've opened up applications for Cohort 3. Yes. What sort of companies are you looking for this next wave of companies, and when is that closing?
Again, we don't have a firm date yet as to when we are going to close Cohort 3, but we are accepting applications now and we will be reviewing companies along the way as we go. We're very excited. Again, I can't stress enough that we're looking for companies which are right at the cusp of growth, right? Companies which have got something going, but they are struggling with how do I take this to the next level? How do I grow this from supplying Malaysia to supplying Southeast Asia? How do I take this from, wherever they are today, how do they scale this business? Companies which are at that stage, I would really urge you to apply for our Cohort 3 Accelerator program.
Now, final question, Shan, and this is to draw on your experience. Now, you've been an entrepreneur at Baby Dash. You've been running now an accelerator, and you're getting into your third cohort. What are some key nuggets of advice you can give entrepreneurs, given your personal experience and also what you've observed?
I think one of the things that I found helped me the most as an entrepreneur was basically you need a very strong support system. So support system and network in two areas. One is for your home, because if home and family and everything isn't taken care of, you're going to be stressing about your home life as well as your entrepreneurship and you're running a business life. I'm also a single mom, so I believe a support network is extremely important if you're going to succeed in both your family as well as running your business. I think the main bit of advice I would give to all entrepreneurs is you need to find yourself and surround yourself with strong coaches and mentors. And
now, and can I ask you also, because of we're in the season of Women's Day, and
yes.
my mother worked, so for me it's never been a difference between men and women, but we need to give women a little helping hand, especially in the tech ecosystem, because there isn't enough women in the tech ecosystem. Any special advice would you give women out there?
I think women shouldn't hold themselves back. Like I said, as long as you make sure that you surround yourself with the right support network, then everything can be taken care of. And you should never be afraid to ask for help. So when I say surround yourself with mentors and coaches, I don't just mean you just have one mentor or one coach. I mean, you surround yourself with them. So there's someone you can turn to if you need help with PR. There's someone you can turn to if you need help with technology. There's someone you can turn to if you just need to talk about how do I run my family and juggle and deal with this. So make sure you surround yourself with people who have either been through it or can help you and can give you logical, calm advice on how to carry on and keep striving for what you want to strive for.
Shanli, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you, Brian.
I'm Brian Fernandez, and I've been speaking to ScaleUp Malaysia's managing partner, Shanli, and on BizTech's ecosystem conversations with ScaleUp Malaysia. Check out www.biztech.asia for business and technology conversations.